Hello, all you geeks and degenerates out there, and welcome back to our channel. And today, Enzo, grab your Gen Hoshino playlist, your pretend to be daughter, and your assassin to be wife. And we're gonna go riding on this hype train, which is Spy X Family. And yeah, I know, it's very popular.
Yeah.
But after, like, seriously, first I'm hearing about it, I keep seeing the manga everywhere, like in Fully Book and like bookstores. I was like, what is this about? And then I watched the first episode, and I was like, I get it. like after watching this entire season, you finally start to say, like, oh, it's just part of the hype. Nah. Now you get it. And today, as always, joined by me, Enzo. And Enzo doesn't really watch a shit ton of anime compared. He watches a lot of anime, but compared to me, Edwin, and like the others, not a lot. So, what was your thoughts on me pretty much forcing you to watch this anime?
It's like, alright, here we go again. Hopefully, it's another one I like. And the premise did tell me that there's this kind of, East and West Berlin, and there's division of spies and assassins, and it's Cold War-esque. I'm like, alright, I'll stick with it.
Yeah, it's a mixture of like World War II and Cold War, since a lot of spy shit was happening.
Yeah. I mean, the capital is called Berlin, so I'm like, okay.
No, it's like
Berlin
it's like a
with a T.
Berlin. Yeah, it's Berlin.
But I'm like, alright.
Yeah. And we pretty much get introduced to like our main character, which is Twilight. We never get to hear his actual name. We just hear his code name and his alias, which is fuck, what was it again? Something Forger. Lloyd Forger. And we get to have like a little bit of a backstory on him, like in one episode where he's kind of like this spy that started out young.
Yeah.
And you see how he works. He's not really much of like, oh, he goes in guns blazing. He's the guy who takes his time. He wears like fake masks, and I like this direction for him. He's not, again, the guy with the most combat skills. Of course, he is very capable, but at the same time, he likes to take things more covert.
Yeah.
Unlike his wife.
Like you see the influence from like Mission Impossible, James Bond, all that spy genre movies. So if you like spy stuff like James Bond and Mission Impossible, you'll definitely like this.
Yeah. But I will say though, they don't really dive into the spy stuff a lot yet.
Yeah.
I haven't read the manga, neither has Enzo, but to our friends who have, which is like Seb, Ina, probably Edwin as well, and Dina, they do say that it does like start to get more intense as we go on.
Okay.
So I really can't wait for the like legit serious shit that will happen in this world.
Yeah. I mean, dark shit does happen. Someone does get executed right in front of Anya, like, oh damn, poor kid.
Yeah. And speaking of Anya, we get introduced to Anya, who is a telepath, patient number 007. And I was like, I see what you're doing there. And, god damn, look, there are a lot of kid characters in anime who are like side characters. But my god, this is like S tier character development, character delivery.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I don't like children. I really don't. Y'all heard my statement before. I would gladly dropkick a child. But Anya, I will protect with my life. Like, if I had an Anya for real, I wouldn't mind using a silent pistol to take you out if you insulted her. Did you get attached or anything to Anya?
I did. Like, she was the main reason I stayed. Like, I like Lloyd and, what's the name of the wife? Thorn Princess?
Yeah, Thorn Princess. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna pop up the names.
Well, yeah,
get back to guys.
Her journey is the one I was most intrigued by, because I like how this series, at least in the beginning, it's started with, like, assembled with, like, part one is like how to make this family work, or like how assemble your family. Part two is get enlisted.
To make it work.
Yeah, or get enrolled in the school. And part three is like how to stay in school.
Yeah. and it is a certain kind of arc, but which is like maybe 2 episodes per arc,
Yeah.
and it does feel nice. Like when Lloyd Forger adopts Anya, there was an adjustment period, and then when Lloyd Forger meets your Forger, um, there's also again an adjustment period. And I like that. They're kind of easing us into it. And there is a character that we haven't seen yet. Well, we have seen, but hasn't been incorporated into the family yet, which is Bond, which is the dog. I keep seeing memes, and it's on the cover.
Yeah, they already teased it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And like, I legit can't wait for that. And God, I will say again, Anya is the best fucking character here.
yeah, and that's the magic of staying. It's like you get to see this non-family become a family, and like they really grow attached to each other, and be like, all right, we have to do that to this situation. Like when her brother comes over, other situations erupt. Like, all right, how do we deal with this to make
Right, right.
keep up with appearances?
And yeah, especially when your Forger's brother is like part of the government
Yeah,
that he's trying to take down. So that is like a level of like I would say tension there, and for sure they're gonna delve in deep with that
yeah,
as we go along through the season. And I will say this is half a season. They only released 12 episodes, not the full 24. So
yeah. This is
it's okay. It's coming out in October, so October or August. I forgot which one.
All right. Oh, okay. But yeah, it's like it's funny to see Lloyd like have to understand like, yeah, Anya understands we're on a mission, but she's still a kid, so she doesn't work like you. Like you can't
Yeah.
force certain things down her throat. Like you have to do this.
Yeah, you have to be the smartest thing. And
Yeah.
again, like your Forger supposed his mission, which is Operations Strix.
Yeah,
He has to make a family, get the child into a school to be invited into the home of a government official that he has to assassinate.
yeah. And then along the way, she has to become a scholar in that school too, and that's not an easy thing to do.
No, no. Like, but I do love that arc the most is when she's in school. Because we get to see a lot more of Anya. Because, like, before that, sure, we get Anya, but it's more of like Lloyd and yours story of how they meet each other, which I really like. But shit, though, like, I do love Yor. She is mommy as fuck. And I will appreciate the show. Yor is hot. Yor is very hot. But they don't do that typical, oh, her panty shot right here. So this is not technically a degenerates video. It is more wholesome. Yeah, they don't do that to Yor. They don't, like, flaunt her body all that much. Kind of like with other animes. And hey, there's a time and place for those. Not saying they're horrible. Because for me, I enjoy those. But here, I was like, this is peak family-oriented anime. Like,
Yeah.
I could watch this with my parents and not be afraid that, like, next thing I know, I look back at my screen and there's like a full-on ass shot in my face. I'm like, no, you don't need to worry about that. That's why I like this direction that they have with this anime.
Yeah.
It's just family. It's just so wholesome. I don't know how they do it.
I love the fact that just to get into school is a battle because Anya has to take a test and the dad's driving her nuts, pushing her forward, and she's like, you know what? During the day of the exam, she's like, you know what? Maybe I'll just read everybody's minds because that'd be easy. And it's
Yeah.
silent, and they're like all the same age. And they're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's how Anya like got adopted by Forge because he was by Lloyd was that he was trying to look for a smart kid, so the entrance exam is not that hard, and they could just breeze through and get to the meetup at the house with the government official.
Yeah.
Nah, Anya fakes being smart, like a lot of us. And she just reads the mind of Lloyd, and like she kind of cheats the crossword puzzle, and she's like, "Wow, she's actually really smart." Okay, and when she gets to the test, she's like, "Fuck, fake it till you make it until you make it here."
Right. And this school is the most prestigious school in the in that country. It's like the UP or the Cambridge, and
Yeah,
like
it's the
you
creme
know,
de la creme of like knowledge,
yeah, and
education.
like just taking the exam isn't enough. You have to also do an entrance interview. Like fuck, that's intimidating, even especially for a kid. Just
Yeah,
like,
and
why did
like
you choose this school? It's like I don't know. My parents told me.
no, it's like you ask the kid like, do you have any years of experience? No, but like it's so tough to us because like they require a full like a set family. Like you can't just be a single father or mother. You have to have the two.
Right,
I was like, that. Why does that matter?
right. I guess since this kind of takes place in the not really. I was like, it takes place in the 60s. Not really. They have cell phones.
Do they have? No, they don't have cell phones.
Whether yeah, they don't have cell phones. So maybe that's take place, in the Cold War era. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, and like, just when they're walking through the hallways of the school, people are just like judging them. Like, are you good enough to enroll in Eden? Like the headmaster's like, are they elegant enough? And just constantly judging.
eleganto,
Yeah, yeah.
eleganto.
Like, oh
But
no,
yeah,
my kid's trapped in the grain. How are you going to rescue him without being dirty?
no, he just goes in and just
Yeah,
takes him out. And it was like, oh well, now you have to go into the interview with like dirty clothes. But we planned for this. They change clothes right on the spot. I'm like, okay.
yeah. That's like that anxiety is real. The entrance exam anxiety. You're like, oh fuck, did I make it?
Never had it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they get interviewed, and it's a really tough like interview because one guy's an asshole, the other one's like, I know how to handle kids, and then
Yeah.
there's the headmaster.
Yeah. The asshole one is actually like the son of the the owner of the school.
Yeah.
Which is not the headmaster. It's not the guy with the eleganto shit. No. But like before we get to that part, this shit was kind of hammered, not really hammered into us, but like they kind of showed us the weight of this situation to Anya.
Yeah.
Like they showed her like when she got kidnapped. Before that, she was playing around with communication things, and she got a flashback to like being in the lab, and they're like, Anya wants to draw." It's like, no, you can't draw. You have to practice your powers. Stop doing childish things. And she was kind of derived of family. And then when they asked her, "Oh, what does your mother think of this?" And she starts to like cry and bawl. And everybody, for sure, who was watching this were in the same position as Yor and Lloyd, where they were like, "I'm ready to punch this mother." It's like, dude, chill, it's a drawing. But I was like ready to just punch my screen. It's like, this son of a bitch.
Like how strong is Lloyd that can punch a table in half?
Mother, dude, like, majority of the shit that goes on, like, your strength is pretty much superhuman.
Yeah.
She threw a dodgeball at a tree and pretty much made it go down. Like, I don't question spies and assassins' strength
Sure.
anymore. I do love the funny scenes with Anya, though, like, where, like, they're in, like, the sewing area before they meet Yor. She was like, am I being taken away? Like, am I being sold? I was like, what gave you that thought, you little shit?
Like Anya always has the reads the minds and at the wrong moment. Like when her mom's thinking about killing people, she's like, huh?
Oh, but you gotta love that, though. You're like, assassin? Spy? Waka waka? And I was like, yeah! That's why Anya's so unique. Like, she's not the character to be like, oh my god! Like, this is my mom, this is my dad. How did I get here? It's a pretty crazy story. It's not that kind of like sitcom show. No, it's like she's excited to have entertainment in her life.
Yeah.
Because for sure her life was kind of boring before she met her parents. And I was like, I like that. It's not like, oh, typical girl trying to hide her spy family. No, no, no. She wants all of it. She wants to consume every minute of it. So I was like, okay. Anya's very unique as a character. Forge, not so unique, I will say. I say she's very unique as a
Yeah,
character.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like out of all of them, Lloyd is the most plain one. Like, alright, he's a spy, trying to
Yeah.
figure out the trials and tribulations of fatherhood, essentially.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, when Floyd is in there, you see the appeal. But he is kind of Jerry Sue kind of guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I do like the fact that Anya asked, like, can we role play in the castle for my reward for school? And he's like, no, denied. She's like,
Yeah, yeah. She just starts to cry. I was like, dude, if I was Lloyd Forge, I was like, of course. Of course. And of course they had to they had to rent out the whole castle, and then all the spies like from Lloyd's like precinct went there to be like, oh, we got a meeting. I was like, oh no, it's for our daughter, and we're trying to she made it into school and this is her reward, and they're all in on it, and it was so sweet.
yeah,
And you just hear like little Anya like like she's being taken away by Lloyd's friend who's playing as a bad guy. Oh, that was such a cute episode.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
then
and like
later on, they're like, the agent's like, what is this? Expenses.
yeah, no, but like all of the agents who were in it
Yeah,
were so happy to just like do it for Anya, and I was like, oh, this is so sweet. And like the last boss was his drunk wife, and I was like, that's terrifying.
who's not faking it at all? She's like really out to murder him. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, seriously, if she didn't pass out from being too drunk, she could have killed him.
Yeah. We should mention though that the parents don't know each other's jobs. Like he doesn't know that.
He's an assassin,
Yeah.
and she doesn't know that he's a spy. So it's kind of odd when they met
Yeah.
in the second episode where was it? Yeah, it was the second episode where she was invited to a party, but it was mostly just to invite her, just to mock her
Yeah.
by her coworkers, and just to see like, oh, is she telling the truth? Does she actually have a boyfriend? I don't know. So like, Lloyd was like a little bit late there, and when he got there, he's pretty much filled with blood. He was like, "Oh no, I'm a doctor. I work in psychiatric ward or some shit like that." And I was like, "What kind of ward you go to?"
Exactly. If you go to Arkham Asylum, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. I feel like that's what he goes through because like after showing up yours coworkers and like, I actually have a pretty good boyfriend slash husband now. They get attacked by the people they stole from, like they stole jewelry from.
Yeah.
And I was like, concussive therapy. That made me laugh. I was like, all right. Wait, was it concussive therapy or
Yeah.
I forgot what you called it. Yeah, yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong in comments. But yeah, it was like that. And she was funny because she was also like pretty much kicking ass at the same time. And then that's where he proposed, where we get that famous scene where he has the grenade pin and he uses that as a ring.
Yeah.
And it was really nice.
And then going back to Anya and her trials and tribulations of being a student, like you learn the system of like, in order to be a scholar, you have to earn 8 stars, right?
Yeah. To be like the summa cum laude of.
Yeah, but to get expelled, you get like what I would assume is like demerits, like 8 of those.
Yeah.
For various reasons, like you can save a life and you get a star, or do something good for society, or of course get good grades, and that's makes you a scholar. But like causing trouble, hitting people, all being a bad influence gets you the demerit. So it has to be a balancing act, and I'm interested to see what else they do to be like, oh god, she's so close to being a scholar. Oh shit, she's so close to becoming a scholar.
Yeah. And like her first day, like it's pretty much a tour for the students. Like here's like the gymnasium, here's the classrooms. As they're going on this tour, there is a kid who is pretty much bullying her,
Yeah.
and we find out that like, oh, this kid he was playing her. He was probably the popular one. Everybody looks up to him, and we find out that he's actually the second son of the target that Lloyd has to kill. Well, they never say kill. They just have to like. They use another word for it, but like yeah. And I was like, well, this is gonna be. How are they gonna do this in the manga?
Right.
I really wonder. Like, so is Lloyd gonna kill the dad? Are they gonna have world peace while having this relationship with Anya and this guy?
Yeah. And he has two plans, right? Like the first plan is like Anya gets in to be a scholar and she gets to attend the meetings, and she, and that's where the parents also hang out, so she can get information of where his whereabouts are. Two is she becomes friends with the kid, and they get invited to his house, and so does her parents. And like, all right, that's how we also accomplish the mission, but it doesn't go that way because of Anya's actions in the first day.
I mean, the kid was like kind of pushing her buttons to the point where she was like Hajime Ippo, just straight up wow. Like, oh shit! Seriously, first time I'm watching that episode, I was like, oh fuck! And which we get the iconic Anya face where she has like a, the droopy eyes smile look, the fake smile look, and just like a fire inside of it. It doesn't help that like her mom pretty much taught her how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
So kid flew. You gotta love that episode. And then
You see the picture afterwards where they're just like one demerit.
you see Lloyd just like fuck, and like later on you see that bit by bit this kid is actually developing feelings for Anya, but of course he tries to not
Yeah, that's
say it.
that's very relatable for a lot of people. Like, I get where the kid's coming from.
Right.
Like when she apologizes, like, no, I won't apologize, and the dad just dies on the inside and outside. Just like, fuck.
Ah, damn it! And again, Lloyd is a spy, so he sometimes hovers over her, but like in like masks, so she doesn't know who he is.
She just apologized on like the omelet and the trees. She's like, all right, I get it. Fuck.
Kind of like acts of God, and she's like, God? No, but that shit was so funny. And we get to see that scene where she pretty much was overwhelmed by the guilt and pretty much the peer pressure from her father.
Yeah.
She says sorry, and this is the point where the second son falls in love with her. It's like, oh shit. Which is really nice. I like that scene. I was like, again, I wanted to hug Anya.
Yeah.
Like the entire show, I just want to hug Anya and laugh with her.
I also really like the dodgeball episode.
So, because the main villain of that episode was this kid who looked like a man. like everybody was like, who just looked at him and was like, is he in the same grade as us? Because he's pretty much built and he's like a son of a general. But he's like way taller than the rest of the students, but shorter than the regular person. So it was kind of odd.
Yeah.
And he had the deepest voice for an 8-year-old.
Like, I am 8th grade, yeah. She's like, the fuck?
No, you're not, unless you're pumping in steroids. Jesus Christ.
And like, they're all there, or they're all competing because they believe they're going to get a star if they do well.
Yeah.
Later on, that gets debunked, but like, this kid is just killing the smaller kids. Like, Jesus Christ, take it easy, man.
Yeah. And this kid's just like straight up just tossing at everybody, and then bit by bit, we get flashbacks of Anya and her training. And like you see your Forager just teaching her how to throw a dodgeball. And as I mentioned a while ago, she pretty much decapitates a tree.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a head, but like she cuts down a tree with a dodgeball. And you're kind of like, is Anya gonna have her first like kill from this training? Because you saw Anya how she pulled off that punch, so you thought that maybe Yor taught her some shit, and we did get like a montage of her training. So we're like, oh fuck, Anya's gonna destroy, and we get that scene where second son, out of like I guess out of love, he blocks the ball from
Yeah.
Anya because it was aiming right at her, and that gives Anya enough time to pretty much set up this throw.
Before that, like the big kid uses a move that's designed to, like, if she moves to the left, it will instantly hit her, but she doesn't move because she can read his mind.
Right.
And then the other kid just eats shit. Like, ah, fuck.
Yeah, that shit was so funny. Cause yeah, she's reading my, so she's like, she knows where the ball's gonna go. So you see like kids in the background just like, fuck. Like, how'd she dodge that? But like he still took out some kids.
Yeah.
That shit was so funny. And then she's like sets up for this final toss, this Hail Mary attempt to just like take this kid out finally. And she fucks it up. I was like, I guess punches are the only thing she's good at this moment.
Yeah, because she aimed at the ground. Like, what's that supposed to do?
Right?
And the kid just like. And then Anna eats shit. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we find out that you actually don't get stars from sporting events. It's mostly for other things, and everybody's like, oh.
The big kid almost got demerred because he's like, die, motherfucker. He's like, what the fuck is that?
The Shiner! I was like, uh-oh. But yeah, like, he got demerit from that. It's not elegant, if you try to cause somebody's death in dodgeball, apparently.
Yeah. That makes sense. And then I do I like the brother arc? I kind of do like the brother arc, though it's kind of creepy. That's like, if you love each other, kiss in front of me. You're like, the fuck?
No, this was weird because it was the little brother Onet-chan relationship kind of deal. If you don't know what I mean, sorry, forgot Enzo. It doesn't watch a lot of anime. It's the sibling love kind of situation.
I think he loves his sister too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a very big trope in anime where probably the younger sister or the younger brother loves their older sibling a little too much. Where they would declare that, hey, when I grow up and I make money, I'm gonna marry.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fine. But when he's like 20 or like 20 plus over the age of like consent, that's weird.
Yeah. I do like I find Anya adorable when she's like, I want to stay up and greet the uncle, and like that takes me back to like, yeah, I remember being a kid like that. Like, Mom, I want to stay up to see our relatives. And she's like, no,
Yeah.
past 9. I'm like, I can do it then.
That shit was so sweet though.
Yeah.
And so cute.
And wondering, like, he's being rude to Lloyd, and Daz is cooking, and it's like, you know what, I should stop doing this before sister gets mad at me and never talks to me again. But she knows that when they touch hands, you're like, oh. And he's like, that's weird.
Like, I thought you guys are married.
Yeah.
I was like, what's wrong with a kiss? Yeah. Yeah. But of course, the brother loves everything that Lloyd does, but of course, brother has to stay strong,
Yeah.
cold-hearted, and he'll be like, no, doesn't matter what you do. I don't care.
What nickname
I don't
does he
care how
call
good
his
your
wife
cooking is.
again?
Huh?
What nickname
What?
does he call the wife again?
Forgot.
Yeah, he said, I don't call her that. What do you call you? Lottie? Loity? And he freaks out because he just shot his own foot, essentially.
Yeah. And not gonna lie, that shit was hot though. Where they're ready to kiss, and you see the brother just like intensely staring. That part wasn't hot. The whole cucking part is not hot. But like, her going in for the kiss for Lloyd, I was like, mommy? I'm sorry.
Mommy? I'm sorry. Mommy? And then he tries to block it, and she backhands him. They go flying to a wall.
Hey, you gotta love how, like, there's still continuity. Lloyd, like, takes away the drinks away from her.
Yeah.
Like, she does make her... I know, she actually just takes the bottle and drinks it before the kiss. But, like, Lloyd, before dinner, he, like, takes the wine away from Yor. He's like, no.
No.
I don't trust you with this.
stabs her brother, and he apparently has a cracked skull, cause he has.
Oh, he has a concussion.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. It was called concussion therapy in the second episode. My bad. There we go.
Alright.
Yeah.
He's spraying blood from his skull. Like, how are you not unconscious at the very least?
Yo, like the Yor family is. I forgot her last name. The Yor family is pretty, strong.
Yeah.
As you can see, the amount of people like this man has interrogated, and the amount of people this Yor has pretty much killed. So I'm pretty sure they're tough to kill. So our concussion's not that bad.
But Lloyd's like desperate to get the stars because the agency is like, all right, we assume it will take you 4 months, and then he sees her gaze. He's like, yeah, no, that's not happening in 4 months. Again, she's a kid. She doesn't know any better. You're like, well, she's like prioritizing the cartoon over her studies. I'm like, I get that. I usually get in trouble for that too. That's fine.
I mean, I still do that, so I'm not in school no more. But I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's bad. Kids don't do that. But yeah, like you see that, like, oh, she's actually not really doing well in school, and I get it. She sleeps in class, gets bored easily. It's not really her cup of tea. She doesn't make a friend though, Becky.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I'm a college student, and I used to do that a lot. I still do that when when we were face to face. I'm like, oh god, this class is so boring. I want to die.
Yeah.
But he's like, all right, let's try, several servers, like social servers. He brings her to the hospital, and she's creating such a mess that the nurses are like, can you please just go home?
Because she keeps fucking up everything.
Yeah.
And like, from there, she kind of reads, like, she hears a voice where this kid is actually drowning in one of the pools, and she immediately runs there and is like, oh, like, she can't pretty much be like, oh, there's a kid over there, because people are like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
And she'll be taken away. No, she was like, oh, I swim, and then she dives in, saves the kid, then Lloyd comes in to save her.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that's how she gets her first star, is that she saves a kid.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's nice. It's not just in academics, schools.
And again, I like how they have to keep appearance, because I think the last episode is the aquarium episode where Lloyd is just tired out of his mind, but he hears people like, they're not actually your family because Lloyd keeps going out. Is he cheating on his wife?
Yeah. And like the titas outside, the chismis, what do you call them again? God, there was a Filipino term for it, but I forgot. But like, it's the crowd of like ladies that like just gathers around and just gathers information better than our government
I want to say
to each other.
I can't.
What?
What? But yeah, and then he's like, you know what, by the end of the week, we should go to the aquarium. And he's like, after all my assignments this week, we should be good. Cut to that weekend, he's like, oh god, I'm so tired.
Yeah, first he had to save face, but at the same time, the world kind of needed him because the old lady that's in like the newspaper stands like, oh, how did you know? Like, how did you know in advance that you needed to go to the aquarium? Somebody's actually gonna send nuke codes over to the enemy. And I was like, oh shit. Okay, so this last episode was kind of like intense. A little bit. It's still lighthearted, but it's still kind of intense because now there is actual spy work that's happening.
Yeah. And yeah, asks Anya, and he finds out that, oh, the thing they're sending information with is deep inside the penguin. He's like, fuck, okay.
Yeah, and he had to like disguise himself as one of like the guest interns or like rookie like zookeepers.
Because Anya helps him because he's like reading. His mom's like, oh shit, he's on a mission. I have to find the penguin that's like dying.
Yeah, the one that's pretty much stroking.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do find it. And God, I'm kind of drawing blank on this one. Like, what happened here again?
Like he disguised himself as a one of the aquarium staff, and the guy's like, "You can't just go up to the penguins. You have to memorize their faces." But he does. He memorized a list or something from the former the employee that he stole the equipment from, and he's like, "This guy's name's Henry the Penguin. This guy's John the Penguin." Um,
Yeah,
Finds the right one. He's like, "I'll be back. I'll just have to take care of this one."
yeah, like you're just gonna take it to the vet.
Yeah.
And they do get the codes, but at the same time, like there's this man who's like, "Oh, I'll take that." The one with like really big eyes. I was like,
Yeah.
I'll take that away from you." I was like, "Nah, we got it. Only personal staff can do this." I was like, "No, I'll take it." I was like, "No." And then they do get kind of a shootout. Was it a shootout?
Kind of, but like Anya gets the guy by the coat, and then Yor stops him and like hangs him on the ceiling. I'm like, well, he's dead.
Yeah, that was the thing. Where Anya like grabs onto him and he's like, "Mom, I'm being abducted," and then like Yorio's like, "What?" And pretty much, I don't know, uppercuts him with her legs to the roof. And you gotta love how Anya's reaction is like, "Whoa!" And to another stat member who's like walking along, he's like, "Whoa!"
Right, like, well, my job just got interesting. And then later on,
Yeah,
the guy
he's dead.
Lloyd knocked out finds out he gets a big promotion. It's like, all right, you're the head of the Penguins now. He's like, what?
Yeah, but he was unconscious for a majority of that time.
Yeah, and he's just a newbie, so now he's like, well, shit, I'm gonna lose my job, even though I have a
Yeah.
bigger payout than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Um, and then he gets back to the wife and the titas, and they're like, I told you he's cheating on you. And he's like, no, I was out there kind of winning a prize for Anya. Then,
Yeah, it was this huge ass penguin.
Yeah. And then you see by the end, Anya's playing with it. It's, again, a really huge toy. And like, oh. And then
Yeah.
she tries to open her dad's room. He's like, ah, what are you doing? And gets really mad. And then she's like,
Again, every time Anya cries, it's kind of like a genuine kid cry.
yeah.
Majority of the time, I would get annoyed by that. But like for Anya, I was like, "Oh, I'll play along. I'll play along. I'm so sorry." And then they do like they go outside. They play spy like out in public, which is so cute.
Yeah.
And yeah, those pretty much like by at the end, and they do like give us an Easter egg of Bond, which is the dog. I think is an experimental dog from what we saw from the lab.
Yeah.
So there's something gonna be special about each family member in this household. So like okay, I can't wait for season 1.5.
Yeah, I can't wait for how this anime progresses because I assume since it takes 8 stars to get into a scholarship that you can grow out like maybe 4 seasons out of this, 4 or 5.
Probably like yeah, two stars per season, and she kind of gets older. Who knows?
Yeah.
We don't know how this anime is gonna go. It's probably in the manga, but if there are any information you guys know, please don't write it down in the comments below.
Yeah.
We do want to be surprised for the next season, and
Yeah.
keep spoilers away because that's not fun. What would you rate this season?
For now, I'll give this an 8. Like, I really did enjoy my time. I like the characters, and I don't really have complaints. I just really like my time. It's a very wholesome 8 out of 10.
Okay. I'll give this one a 9. I'll give it a solid 9 because the writing for the family, it's so fun. It's always new. It's a refreshing, like how people have like Monster of the Week. This is like family bonding of the week.
Yeah.
Like you could actually watch this with your family. It's not one of those sketchy animes that you're like, can I watch this with mom?
Can you see
Yes, you can.
what I'm wearing? You can't show this, but watch this with your parents. Not really.
No, not really.
Like,
Especially
hey,
that hospital scene.
oh my god. Like, hey, younger cousins want to get existential crisis real fast? Like, why?
Evangelion. There we go. But yeah, like it's always fun to watch it. You can't wait for the next episode. Everybody's written well. I will say Lloyd Forger does kind of lack a little bit of like my interest
Yeah.
because Yor and Anya is mostly there for that.
That's okay.
Well, yeah, Lloyd is mostly the. He's pretty much our eyes into this world,
Yeah.
so I kind of get that part. But yeah, it's such a good time, and the soundtrack's amazing. If you all like Gen Hoshino, like, fuck it. That's all I'm there for. Sorry for the opening song. I always skip that one. It's not, in my opinion, it's not that great. The ending's the one I really stick for.
Same.
But yeah. So, did you guys like the anime? Did you not? Leave it down in the comments below. Let us know. And if you like us, leave a like, ring the bell icon to... Sorry, subscribe and ring the bell icon to be notified for any future uploads that we have. And if you don't like seeing our faces, we also have a Spotify and a Discord under the same name. And we also have a Facebook.com/geeksanddegenerates. I know I was supposed to put that first.
Yeah, well.
Oh well, and you can find me at JomGOM on Instagram. It is my art account. I am also starting to post a little bit more, so stay tuned for that. Where can they find you, Enzo?
You can find me at Yandalfos1995 on Instagram and Twitter.
Nice. And thank you for watching. Thank you all, you geeks and degenerates. Please stay safe, wear a mask, social distance, and get vaccinated and get a boost for fuck's sake. We'll see you all next time. Ciao.
Bye.
Cue Gen Hoshino. No, I'm kidding. That's copyright.